Subscribe to Earthophilic. Hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I am going to talk about the state which is my home for the last 4 years. So I am very excited because this state is an amalgam of crowning destinations, megacities, tiger reserves, beaches and ancient ruins. This is Karnataka. Karnataka is a state in the southwestern region of India. It is located on the western coast of the subcontinent. There are 30 districts in Karnataka. The Silicon Valley of India, Bengaluru, is the capital and largest city of the state. Karnataka is bounded by the states of Maharashtra and Goa to the north, Kerala to the south, Tamil Nadu to the southeast, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana to the east, and the western coast of the state is splashed by the Arabian Sea. Though several etymologies have been suggested for the name Karnataka, the generally accepted one is that Karnataka is derived from the Kannada words Karu and Nadu, means elevated land. Karunadu may also be read as Karu, means black, and Nadu means region, as a reference to the black cotton soil found in the region of the state. Karnataka is a huge state, so the history of the state is also very vast. I have tried to make it as crisp as possible. Let's start with the Mauryan dynasty. Around 3rd BCE, most of Karnataka came under the Mauryan Empire of Emperor Ashoka. 4 centuries of Shatavahana rule followed, allowing them to control large areas of Karnataka. The decline of Shatavahana power led to the rise of the earliest native kingdoms. The Kadamba dynasty, founded by Mayura Sharma, had its capital at Banavasi. At the same time, another kingdom emerged as the Western Ganga dynasty was formed with Talakaru as its capital. Kadamba and Western Ganga dynasty were the first kingdoms to use Kannada language in administration. These dynasties were followed by imperial Kannada empires such as the Badami Chalukyas. The rule of the Chalukyas marks an important milestone in the history of South India and a golden age in the history of Karnataka. The political atmosphere in South India shifted from smaller kingdoms to large empires with the ascendancy of Badami Chalukyas. At their peak, the Rashtrakutas of Malkhed ruled a vast empire stretching from the Ganga River in the north and Kanyakumari to the south. A fruitful time of political expansion, architectural achievements, and famous literary contribution. The early kings of the dynasty were influenced by Hinduism and the later kings by Jainism. The Western Chalukya Empire, which ruled over large parts of the Deccan and had its capital in what is now Karnataka. The Western Chalukya patronized a unique style of architecture and Kannada literature. At the turn of the first millennium, the Hoysalas gained power in the region. Literature flourished during this time, and the construction of temples and sculptures adhering to the Vesara style of architecture. Parts of modern-day southern Karnataka were occupied by the Chola Empire at the turn of the 11th century. The Cholas and the Hoysalas fought over the region in the early 12th century before it eventually came under the Hoysala rule. In the early 14th century, Harihara and Bukkaraya established the Vijayanagar Empire on the banks of the Tungabhadra River. The empire rose as a barrier against Muslim advances into South India, which is completely controlled for over 2 centuries. Bahmani Sultanate was the first independent Muslim kingdom in South India. The kingdom later split into 5 offshoots that were collectively known as the Deccan Sultanate. The last remnant of the Bahmani Sultanate was disintegrated in the Battle of Raichur in 1520 after fighting the Vijayanagar Empire. The Mughals entered the region in the 17th century by defeating the local rulers. In the period that followed, parts of northern Karnataka were ruled by the Nizams of Hyderabad, the Maratha Empire, and the British. In the south, the Mysore Kingdom, a former vassal of Vijayanagar Empire, was briefly independent. With the death of Krishnaraj Vodiyar II, Hyder Ali, the commander-in-chief of the Mysore army, gained control of the region. After his death, the kingdom was inherited by his son Tipu Sultan. To contain European expansion in South India, Hyder Ali and later Tipu Sultan fought 4 significant Anglo-Mysore wars, the last of which resulted in Tipu Sultan's death and the incorporation of Mysore into British Raj in 1799. The kingdom of Mysore was restored to the Vodiyars, and Mysore remained a princely state under the British Raj. As the doctrine of lapse gave way to dissent and resistance from princely states across the country, Kittur Rani Chennamma, Sangoli Raina and Raja Venkatappa Nayaka spearheaded rebellions in Karnataka in 1830, nearly 3 decades before the Indian Rebellion of 1857. By the late 19th century, the independence movement had gained momentum. Karnad Sadashiv Rao, Aluru Venkata Raya, S. Nijalingappa, Kengal Hanumanthayya and others carried on the struggle into the early 20th century. In 1950, Mysore became an Indian state of the same name. The former Maharaja served as its head of state until 1975. Following the long-standing demand of the Ekikaran movement, Kodagu and Kannada-speaking region from the adjoining states of Madras, Hyderabad and Bombay were incorporated into the Mysore state under the States Reorganization Act of 1956, and thus expanded state was renamed Karnataka 17 years later in 1973. The state covers an area of 1,91,976 square kilometers. It is the 6th largest Indian state by area. The state has 3 principal geographical zones: the coastal region, the Western Ghats or the Malnad region or the Sahyadris, the plains or the Maidan region, which can be divided into 2 parts, the northern plains and the southern plains. The highest point in Karnataka is the Mulyanagiri Hills in Chikmagalur district, which has an altitude of 1,925 meters. There are 2 main river systems of the state. The first is the Krishna and its tributaries, the Bhima, Ghatprabha, Malaprabha and Tungabhadra in North Karnataka. The second river system is the Kaveri and its tributaries, the Hemavati, Shimsha, Arkavati and Kabini in the South Karnataka. Most of these rivers flow out of Karnataka eastward, reaching the sea at the Bay of Bengal. Other prominent rivers such as the Sharavati in Shimoga and Netravati in Dakshina Kannada flow westward, reaching the sea at the Arabian Sea. About 20% of the state's geographical area is covered by forest. There are 5 national parks and 17 wildlife sanctuaries. Some of the famous ones are: Bandipur National Park is situated within Chamarajnagar district, covering an area of over 800 square kilometers and adjoins the states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala. In 1973, Bandipur became one of the first of India's tiger reserve and became a part of Project Tiger. Karnataka has around 20% of the tiger population in India. Nagarhole National Park, also known as Rajiv Gandhi National Park, gets its name from the Nagarhole River, which runs eastward through its center. Located in Kodagu and Mysore district, the park covers an area of about 575 square kilometers. Kudremukh National Park, spread over an area of 600 square kilometers. It encompasses regions in the district of Dakshina Kannada, Udupi and Chikmagalur. The rivers Netravati, Tunga and Bhadra are believed to originate here. Bhadra Wildlife Sanctuary is located between the Chikmagalur and Shimoga district and is spread over around 500 square kilometers. Daroji Sloth Bear Sanctuary is located in Bellary district and is spread over around 82 square kilometers. This sanctuary was mainly created for the conservation of sloth bears. Dandeli Wildlife Sanctuary is located in the Uttar Kannada district and is spread over around 475 square kilometers. With 6 crore inhabitants, Karnataka is the 8th largest state by population. Talking about faith, 84% of the population are Hindu, 13% population belong to Muslim community, 2% of the population are Christian, and the rest 1% belong to the other minorities like Jain, Buddhist, and Sikh. Sex ratio of the state is 973 females per 1000 male, which is higher than the national average. The literacy rate of Karnataka is 75.36%. Kannada is the official language of the state. The economy of Karnataka is the fourth largest of any Indian state. Agriculture engages the majority of the population. The coastal plain is intensively cultivated, with rice as the principal food crop, followed by sorghum. Karnataka is India's second largest producer of sorghum. Millet is another food crop grown in the state. Sugarcane is the main cash crop. Karnataka is fourth largest producer of cashew in the country. Coffee plantations are located on the cool slopes of the Western Ghats. Karnataka is one of the country's chief producer of coffee. And Karnataka is also the fifth largest cotton producing state. The black soil of the northwest region supports cotton. Karnataka is mineral rich. High-grade iron ore reserves are tapped most notably in Bellary district in the east-central part of the state. Kolar goldfields near Bengaluru yields much of country's gold. Other minerals that are being extracted in Karnataka, albeit in small quantities, including manganese, limestone, copper, bauxite, chromite, and dolomite. Karnataka was the pioneer in establishing hydroelectric projects in the country. Some of the hydroelectric stations are Almaty Dam on Krishna River, Linganamakki Dam on Sharavati River, Krishnaraj Sagar Dam on Kaveri River, Renuka Sagar Dam on Malaprabha River, and Supa Dam on Kali River. Additional energy is provided by thermal. Raichur Thermal Power Plant is a coal-fired electric power plant located in the Raichur district. RTPS was the first thermal power plant to be set up in the state. Bellary Thermal Power Plant is located in Bellary district. State is also investing in wind-powered plants in Gadag and Chitradurga districts. Karnataka is the manufacturing hub for some of the largest public sector industries in India, including Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, National Aerospace Laboratories, Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited, Bharat Earth Movers Limited, Vishweshwarya Iron and Steel Plant, New Mangalore Port, and Mangalore Refinery and Petrochemical Limited. Since 1980s, Karnataka has emerged as the pan-Indian leader in the field of information technology. In 2019, nearly 67,000 firms were operating in Karnataka. Many of them, including two of India's biggest software firms, Infosys and Wipro, are also headquartered in the state. Karnataka also leads the nation in biotechnology. It is home to India's largest biocluster, with 158 biotechnology firms being based here. Several other e-commerce companies originated in Bengaluru like Myntra, Swiggy, Urban Ladder, Big Basket, Lifestyle, Wildcraft, CCD, and the list goes on and on. Oh, my favorite section is here. Let's talk about the dances. Veeragase is a popular folk dance. It is a symbolic presentation of heroism and valor of god Veerabhadra. The dance is performed during festivals and mainly in the Hindu month of Shravana and Kartik. Dholu Kunita is one of the ritualistic dances that are popular with the Kurubas. Yakshagana is a traditional folk dance form popular in coastal Karnataka district. An operative form of dance theatre, Yakshagana might be Karnataka's most famous cultural exports. Kamasale is a vigorous dance form that employs a great blend of artistic sublimity and martial art. Kangadilo Kunita is a traditional Tulu dance form. This is mainly performed by men. The costumes are decorated with tender leaves of coconut palm. The handicrafts and textiles are as diverse as the geography of Karnataka. Mysore silk saris are among the smoothest fabric in the world. Ilkal is famous for handloom saris, popularly known as Ilkal saris. These saris are predominantly worn by women of North Karnataka. The Mysuru painting originated in Mysuru during the days of the Vodiyars. The Mysuru painting generally depict the image of Hindu god and goddesses. Channapatna, located just 60 kilometers from Bengaluru, is world famous for its doll making. Though the state observes pan-Indian festivals, but these two festivals are little special. Mysuru Dasara is the Nadahabba, that means state festival of Karnataka. The city of Mysuru has a long tradition of celebrating the Dasara festival with grandeur and pomp to mark the festival. Kambala is an annual festival celebrated in the Dakshina Kannada district. The festival involves the traditional buffalo race, a popular and unique sport among the farming community of the state. Hampi, the city of temples and ancient complexes, is a well-known UNESCO World Heritage Site. Set in an awesome landscape along the banks of the Tungabhadra River, Hampi was the capital city of the mighty Vijayanagar Empire. The town is a witness of the grandiose of the Vijayanagar Empire. Hampi is beautiful beyond words. You might be wondering what is so special about this statue. Well, the figure is 58 feet tall. Also, the statue is the world's biggest monolithic statue situated at Shravanabelagola. Oriental Library in Mysuru, built in 1891, also known as the Oriental Research Institute, is the oldest library in India. However, the highlight of the library is the palm leaf manuscript, which is the oldest surviving manuscript of the Arthashastra. Karnataka Khadi Gramodyog Samyukta Sangha. No, it's not a political party, but the only unit in India that has the allowance and authorization of manufacturing and supply of the Indian flag. It is situated in Hubli and was set up in the year of 1957. Located near the Shimoga-Udupi border, Kunchikal Falls is formed by the river Varahi. The waterfall from a height of 455 meters in a cascading form on the rocky boulders, giving an impressive sight. According to some data, the Kunchikal waterfall is India's highest waterfall. A tiny Tibetan colony is here in Kodagu district, around 6 kilometers from Kushalnagar. This place is one of the largest Tibetan settlements in India. There are around 16,000 refugees and nearly 6,000 monks and nuns in this monastery. Okay, so I can't end today's video without mentioning the Mysuru Palace, also known as the Ambavilas Palace. A plan for constructing an exotic palace was commissioned by the Maharaja Krishnarajendra Vodiyar IV to the British architect Henry Irving. It took 15 long years to finish the architecture. Finally, the Grand Mysuru Palace was completed in 1912. Karnataka is a land of sheer diversity. It is a prosperous, compelling state loaded with a winning blend of urban cool, glittering palaces, national parks, ancient ruins, and unspoiled beaches. So that's it. Thank you for joining me today. I will meet you guys with the next state, God's own country, Kerala. Till then, bye-bye and take care of yourself.